So far we've done the relative major and the relative minor, perfect first two pulls. So something more interesting is probably going to come out today. If you haven't watched those videos yet, make sure that you check them out. We are doing Mixolydian, the fifth of the 7 modes. Comes right before Aeolian. Let's see, it's a major mode. And we are going to do that on, oh, that was a heck of a roll. On the 10th, so that'll be G. So we're going to do that, we're going to do G Mixolydian, which will be actually all the white keys again. So we're going to be doing a G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it'll be built around G major and like kind of a G7 on top of it. It's got a great like rock, like positive rock sound to it. So let's get to the guitar and see how that feels. So the Mixolydian mode is the 5th of the 7 modes. It's got a real strong major feel, as you heard in that intro. So that intro was in G Mixolydian. So here I'm finding my root G on the low E, and I'm applying what I call the vertical pattern or shape. And the vertical shapes, what I do in all these videos, I go through 3 different shapes for each of the modes, show them in a couple different jam situations, so you get a sense of the moods that they can create. But the vertical shape prioritizes moving across the strings as opposed to shifting positions or stretching. Now, next is, of course, if we did the vertical, we got to do the horizontal. And the horizontal is where we stay on one string and we apply the intervals for any given shape or mode. I say this in every video and I'll say it forever until I run out of breath. I almost ran out of breath there, just thinking about it. Learning something on a single string, a note set, a triad, anything like that, specifically the modes or scales, is unbelievably important and really helpful in not just helping you learn how it sounds and how to play it, but how to use it and how it feels. So we'll start with a G here, any G, and we're going to apply the intervals. It should be whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole. And while I talked about learning it in the other videos, I don't think I really drove home how important it is to also learn it descending. Or however it is that you want to practice it. There's some ideas for how to practice something horizontally in the Ionian video. I'll put a card up here and a link in the description. But once we've gone through the vertical, and the horizontal, a little sloppy at the end there, but you get the idea. Now, the other shape that I always show is 3 notes per string. And the way that I show it is that we'll play 3 notes per string ascending, and we'll start with the same root on the low E. And then once we get up to this highest note, we'll move up one more to the 5th, and we're going to play 3 notes per string descending. So on the chart, it looks like 4 notes per string, but you're playing the lower 3 notes while you're ascending, and the higher 3 notes while you're descending. I also want to point out that 3 notes per string with the root on the A string has a wonderful pattern specifically for Mixolydian here. You can see how these 2 strings are the same, and these next 3 strings are the same. So if you want to play stuff like that, it's really great for that. Obviously, I'm not using a pick right now, and if I was, 3 notes per string has a lot of advantages. So those are the 3 basic shapes. The 3 notes per string, there's kind of 2 versions of that, so I call that the 3rd and a half shape. Horizontals on 1 string, and vertical is across many and kind of staying in a singular position. So what I do in all these videos is, once we've used the initial key, we're going to try it in another key, and then we're going to take a look at an extension that you can use. It's really more of a substitution that you can use when you're playing in Mixolydian that'll give you a very specific feel, but more on that in a bit. Let's move this over to A. So I'm going to find A on my low E and apply my vertical. My 3 notes per string would look like this. Oops, no, it wouldn't. And my horizontal would be something like... So once I've got all 3 of those shapes together, and my 3 notes per string on with a root on the A string, you can see how much of the fretboard that already gives me access to. Well, obviously horizontal will give me access to the entire fretboard, but I can also kind of connect them, you know. I can connect between the 3 notes per string shape up here, and then just keep doing the horizontal until I'm down here and go back to the vertical if I want to. Let's take that into the lab or into a jam, and then we're going to take a look at that substitution, which really adds like a perfect specific kind of spice and flavor to your playing that I know a lot of people are going to want to use. Another feel or another mood to the Mixolydian that you can add. And let's do this next part in D. So let's find a D here, very popular key. Playing D Mixolydian. That's our vertical. Our horizontal would look like this. That's an E. And our 3 notes per string. If we were to play that 3 notes per string with a root in the A. Added some horizontal there. But in addition to those, if we're playing in D, we can also add our minor pentatonic. It builds a lot of like tension, and you can move back and forth between it, make things a little bit more playful. So I can play something that's in the Mixolydian, then move to the harmonic, or the harmonic minor, the minor pentatonic. Back to the Mixolydian. Minor pentatonic. And you can move back and forth between those two. Let's check that out in a jam context and come back and wrap this whole thing up. So the Mixolydian mode is one of the most versatile of the modes. We're just kind of scratching the surface here, I do a long video like this every Tuesday, and currently I'm 3 moods into the Autumn of Modes. So each Tuesday I'm doing a dive like this into one of the modes. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those. Once I'm done with the basic modes this fall, I'm going to talk about like modal interchange and borrowed chords and how you can use that in your songwriting and in your lead playing. But also in the description is a link to my email list. Make sure you sign up for that, and it'll get you access to the Guitar Chord Survival Kit. I really hope you learned something and had some fun today, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.